Hello and welcome to the DC United Kingdom podcast. I'm your host, James Graham. It's season 2 and episode 15, and this is a bit of a new segment. So I've got Julian Gressel over that side to me. Almost got it right
Okay.
first time. Not quite this week, unfortunately. Julian, thank you for coming onto the show. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
How was training today? I'm guessing you were training.
Yeah, we trained. It was good. It was fun. At the moment we're playing a lot, we're competing, getting after it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Just quickly, if you are watching live, hit some comments in the chat whilst we're doing this. It's nice to see what you're thinking about. Maybe you've got a question for Julian. I might ask it to him. You never know. Today's show is all about getting to know DCU. So whether that's questions for Julian or whether it's questions about the team. So we'll find out, hopefully, a few little nuggets of information. So I've got a list of questions for you, Julian. Are you ready to hit them up?
Let's do it. Start it
Yeah.
up.
So I don't really need to do the first question. The first question was name. We've already gone through that. When were you born, Julian?
I was born on December 16, 1993.
So that makes you 26, coming up
Six.
27?
Yep, that's right.
Cool. There you go. Quick maths. Um, how long have you been a professional soccer player for?
This is my fourth year. So I graduated college in December 2017, got drafted, and then started January 2017, and now heading into my fourth season, or am in the middle of my fourth season. Still feels like we haven't even started, doesn't it?
It's been absolutely crazy so far. I mean, as a club, we've played 5 games now,
Yeah, 5 games. Yeah,
and
it's nuts.
we're in August, and it feels like
Yeah,
we should be at the end almost, coming up
I
to
know,
playoff
right?
time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How's that been for you guys then? Has that been a bit of a strange thing? I mean that's pretty much a easy answer, to be honest. But what's it been like in the locker room for such a strange year?
Yeah, it's definitely strange. I mean, it's wild. It's been so start stop, so on and off, so much uncertainty, so many just like new things that get thrown at us, and then new questions that come up every day. I mean, I'm currently sharing a locker room with only 6 other guys. So we're all spread out throughout Audi
Yeah,
Field just to keep us distant from each other. It's incredible, man. It's unbelievable. And yeah, like I just said, it feels like the beginning of the season still, but it's August, and that's just so weird. But we're trying to get through it. We're trying to stay positive. We're trying to work our way through things on the field, and keep getting better, and then hopefully get to play some more games soon. And yeah, we'll kind of see where the season takes us, I guess.
exactly. Uh, so the kind of next question, which if you don't know this, if you're listening and you don't know this answer, get your hair checked a little bit because Julian's new to us. We should know where he came from. Who did you sign from, Julian?
I came from Atlanta United. I got traded in January 2020. Yep.
So, and that answers the next question, which is how long you've been at DC United, which is obviously since January 2020. So, in your 8 months so far at the club, what has made DC United so special?
I think the culture the guys have in the locker room, and that includes the coaching staff, and includes the trainers, includes the science guys, all the equipment guys. It includes all the guys that we see on a daily basis. I think it's been great, and it's been a lot of fun, to go to training, and to work with these guys, and get better on the field, and get to know them off the field. So that's really been really nice, and that something that was great for me, obviously, to come into a locker room like that. It's very easy to get accustomed to it, and get to know guys, and be open to new relationships being built, and yeah, just having a good time with the guys, getting to know some new people.
Yeah, I suppose you've only had 2 opportunities so far to play in front of the fans, but what's that been like?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was cold, so I was all the guys that were there were really, really brave, I thought.
Yeah,
That was pretty awesome. But yeah, it's I mean, I've obviously played at Audi Field before. I've gotten to know the fans a little bit
yeah,
as an away team player. I didn't come from a different league, so I knew what I was getting myself into there, and yeah, it's great. I mean, the fans are awesome. I'm sure if there were any fans allowed at the moment, there would still be people showing up.
yeah,
But obviously, that's a big question mark still. And then I hope that yeah, we get to have them back very soon. I get to have a full stadium against them too.
yeah. It's very, very strange at the moment. Have you caught up with any of the EPL action or the Bundesliga without the fans and seen what it's like so far?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Bundesliga a lot, and obviously EPL. If that's on TV, I just throw it on TV. Rarely I can sit down and really watch it, just because I have usually some other stuff going on. But it's on TV usually most of the weekends. Yeah, I mean, playing without the fans, even for us in Orlando, it was strange, to be honest, in the beginning.
Yeah,
You can hear every word. You hear the coach, which sometimes doesn't happen in written games, right? When the fans scream, which is a change. You can't say I didn't hear you anymore, kind of a thing. But no, it's been okay. I mean, it obviously takes you a little bit to get used to,
yeah,
but it's just a change, that we had to deal with, and yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the last one that we'll have to deal with either.
yeah. First comment. Hello to Andy McBride. He's a good mate. He's a mate of mine. So hey, Andy, how are you doing? Um, your squad number. Did you choose it? And if so, why that number?
Yeah, I obviously I had 24 in Atlanta, and I kind of wanted to stick with it. But I
Yeah.
think if you're a DC United fan, you know who has 24, and I don't think he was going to give it up. So I didn't even really ask him, or I had to probably pay him some big money, to be honest with you. But no, so I chose 31 because it's a number that I had back in Germany before I came over to college. And it's a number that my favorite player ever, my idol, Bastian Schweinsteiger, had for a really long time. So it was just nice to kind of get back to that number and
Good.
have a little bit of a relationship with it. I think that's kind of cool to have that you have a little bit of meaning behind it.
Yeah. That does sound quite cool, especially the Basti Schweinsteiger epic,
Yeah.
epic bit. He's a brilliant. Well, I'd imagine he could still do a thing or two right now at his age, and he's just phenomenal.
Probably, yeah. He was probably just hurting a lot in a lot of different spots after games. That's what he told me after the games we played against him. So, no,
Yeah.
he's a great guy, great person, great player, and very fortunate that I got to play against him and got to meet him actually in person as well.
So, what was that like actually playing against Schweinsteiger? Were you a little bit starstruck or focused on the job?
At first, yeah, definitely starstruck. I mean, when you stand next in the tunnel next to him, and he just walks up, and he didn't. I don't think he even knew that I was German. And the first time we played against them, so all of a sudden I spoke German to him, and he like kind of looked at me a bit weird. But after that, we chatted a bit after the game, and then the next few meetings and stuff, we were joking around quite a bit. He was a funny guy, and yeah, it was surreal. It was awesome. I mean, I have his jersey here now, and just to have that connection, and if I were to walk down the street and see him, he would recognize me. That's just cool little bit of feeling there. But yeah, it was awesome.
So, next question. Apart from Basti Schweinsteiger, if you could play alongside anyone from the past or the present, who would it be and why?
Oh, whew, that's a good question. Well, I guess I got to take all my DC United teammates, right? I mean, kind of be throwing them
Oh,
under the bus right now. I'm just kidding. Um, I mean, growing up, I think you obviously watch. I watch so much soccer, so
mm,
many players. A guy that I never got to watch, but I've watched so many clips and highlights of, and then all the stories my grandpa had told me about was Gerd Müller.
yes, yeah,
So an old school forward. I think his finishing was just unbelievable, and then to have a guy like that on your team, I think that can score a goal, and whenever you give him the ball, is would just be a game changer for all of us, I think, and then for me, obviously, on that team as well. So maybe that's a guy that I choose right there.
well, you are a bit of an assist king. I know there was a little stats at the start of the year. Since you started playing in MLS, there was no one else who'd made more assists than yourself. That's
Wow.
incredible. So when we signed you, there was a lot of cheering going on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I didn't even know that stat,
No?
to be honest with you. No, I didn't. That's pretty cool though. Well, I gotta keep it going. I had that one with Russ, but gotta obviously get back to it
Yeah.
and create some more goals. I think we got to score more goals as a team anyway. So that obviously falls partly on my shoulders too, and I'm looking forward to doing that once we get playing. Obviously.
Yeah. That's going to be awesome when we can actually see you guys back on the pitch again. Um, what has been sort of in terms of games wise anyway? What's been the greatest game that you've actually been a part of? Whether it's down to the atmosphere, the scoreline, whether it's comeback, what game sticks in your head?
I mean, it has to be MLS Cup, I think, for me, where we played in Atlanta against Portland at home in front of our fans. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And to win it 2-0 was, yeah, it was just a special game. But I think a game that actually also stands out, which comes pretty close, is last year's Campeones Cup. I
Yeah.
don't know if you watched that. That was against Club America in
Yep.
Atlanta as well, where for the first time there were more Club America fans in the stands than Atlanta fans. It was more yellow than
Wow.
red or black. Yeah, it was crazy to see and then to walk into that. To be honest, as a home team, but that was an awesome game too. It was back and forth. It was fast. It was high quality, and obviously we came out winning it, which was really sweet for the first time as an MLS team. But that game was that game was really cool to be a part of.
Yeah. Great for the league to have an MLS. I mean, granted, not DC United, but yeah, great for the league to actually see silverware coming back to the country.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it was just sorry. It was just I think it's good to kind of have that competitiveness, right? Where
yeah,
yeah, it's a game that got created by MLS and Liga MX, and nobody was really on board with it at first from the player side of it. But I think there's still some pride in it, and I think that's the only way we gain respect for the South is by actually beating those teams and showing them that we can play as well. And that was the first little start, I think, to that.
and at the end, it's silverware, and who doesn't want something in
That's
the
right.
trophy cabinet?
That's right. It's actually a bummer that we didn't get to play, or we don't get to play the Leagues Cup this year. I think we would have been in it, right, with
Yeah,
DC. Played
yeah,
against a couple of Mexican teams. Hopefully, advanced through it. That would have been a lot of fun.
yeah. I'm exactly the same. I'm very disappointed that we've not seen it, but can you imagine the scheduling if it
Yeah,
still
no.
went ahead?
But it's still better than what it is now, right? Now we have no idea when we're playing. So,
Yeah,
so
true,
I'd
true
rather have
that.
more games than less. No, it would have been fun. It would have given obviously a lot of guys a good opportunities to show themselves, but
Yeah,
yeah, it would have certainly tested our depth and tested some young guys. But like I said, I think it would have been a lot of fun to play against those type of teams and teams that you don't see usually, and be part of a new tournament like that. I think is also exciting, and unfortunately doesn't happen. And we'll see kind of how it continues, but hopefully we get a chance soon again.
no, absolutely. Um, just a quick question from one of the viewers, Andy. He's just asked, do you think the gap between Liga MX and MLS is closer now than, say, around 5 to 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine because the level of MLS has only gone up. I think I don't follow Liga MX too closely, to be honest with you. I don't
Okay.
really know where it was 5 to 10 years ago, or if it's kind of stagnant, or if it's also gone up. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you can see that the best players from their best teams had come to MLS. In the past few years, I think
Yeah.
Pizarro is a big guy from Miami, right? Who was arguably the best player from Monterrey, and now he's obviously in Miami and chooses to make that step, which I think is a sign. Um, or even for Chicharito to come here instead of
Yeah.
going back to Mexico. That's another thing where, all right, well, maybe MLS is kind of on the up and up in that sense. And it would have been interesting to obviously see the All-Star game and
Yes.
against the Liga MX All Stars and all that type of stuff. It would have been cool, and I think the MLS in general will continue that trend, right? To have more competition between Mexico and MLS, and yeah, well, like I said, we'll see how it continues, but definitely good to beat those teams every once in a while too.
Definitely. Um, in terms of personal accomplishments, what's the best goal you've been a part of?
You mean that I assisted or scored?
Either. It could be from
Um,
one of your wonderful
or
crosses, or what a nice finish you've done because you've got a few goals.
Yeah, I've scored a few. I like the who was it against? Oh God, I don't even remember. I like that. I think it was like a half volley off a corner, like that just came off my foot so clean. I think it might have been Salt Lake City last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was just yeah, it was a sweet goal. You remember a few. I remember a few assists that were like, man, those were cool. Last year's assist in Portland to Joseph Martinez.
Yeah.
We kind of thread the just running up the field and just play him in, and yeah, a couple other ones stick out, but certainly have some ways to go still.
Yeah. You've got plenty of years ahead of you, haven't
Yeah, that's right.
you? um, so what made you decide to be a pro soccer player?
That's a good question. I mean, it was just kind of instilled in me growing up. I
Yeah.
think that's in Germany. You have a lot of young kids. They say that when they grow up, they want to be pro soccer players. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I was playing in a good academy, but then yeah, kind of got kicked out. They didn't really want me. I wasn't developing fast enough for
Okay.
kind of their next age levels, and I kind of went a different route with just getting culturally educated and getting my schoolwork done and all that stuff. And that's ultimately why I came over to the U.S. And yeah, I mean, it kind of like I said, it was always a dream of mine ever since I can walk. I always say this ever since I could walk. I had a soccer ball with me. One of my first words was "bai," which meant ball in those days.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I guess you can say it was meant to be in that sense. But no, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of good amount of luck, obviously involved as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, from the young age as well.
Oh nice. So a little bit outside of soccer, what do you do? What hobbies do you have?
I've had golf running all day. I'm a big golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to play golf.
What handicap do you
My
play off?
I'm like a plus one. I don't want to brag, but a plus one, a plus two.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I'm pretty good. Yeah,
Oh, we'd
in
have
that
to have a
sense.
game. We'd have to. I mean, granted, because of my height, I I've got dodgy knees. I'm 6'10",
Okay.
um, but I used to play off four,
All right. Yeah, I think we'd have
so
a really good game then.
we
Yeah.
would have a good game.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I haven't
So
played over in the UK, so and here that's one of the best golf you'll get. So I got to come to a
yeah,
trip. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
But like I said, I'm still young, so I have my best golf years. I'm sure are still ahead of me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like to do that. Me and my wife were expecting a baby now, so I'll be a full-time dad coming in October, which is
yeah,
definitely going to be one of my hobbies. I take care of my dog. We take him on walks. We go hiking a little bit here and there, and yeah, just hanging out with my wife. Or
yeah,
kind of whatever she likes to do. If that's just hanging by the pool or yeah, doing different stuff. Maybe playing some tennis here and there with her, just a little bit. But
yeah.
yeah, just similar small things like that.
Nice. Now onto a little bit of cooking. If you cook, I don't know whether you cook yet, but if
Usually,
you
yeah.
do, what's your go-to meal to cook?
Whew. That's a good question. We make I just like I said, we have like a massive step in our lives at the moment. So we just got a house,
Mm,
expecting a baby. So I just got like
yeah.
one of those Weber grills.
Okay.
So I'm like starting to grill a bit more and starting to get into
Nice.
that. Yeah,
You're
but
getting a
we
proper
make
dad lifestyle going on there.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I know. No, we make some good tacos on Tuesdays, Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Um, and what else? I make a pretty good salmon, I want to say. At least my wife
Oh,
tells me I do. So piece of salmon, yeah, not bad.
nice. Do
Yeah,
you go for smoked salmon or salmon fillet, just the normal side?
just a normal side fillet. Yeah, it'll be a little bit seared in the pan and then in the oven, Yeah, it'll be nice and juicy and good.
Nice. All right. Next question. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only have one music album to listen to, what would that be?
Oh man,
It's always a good question, this one.
I hate questions like that. That's a good question, man. I'm not like the biggest music guy, I have to admit, out there.
Yep.
You know that. So I just usually throw on Spotify, kind of just good music, or like maybe Post Malone radio, or like something like
Okay.
that. But I probably have to go with some of his albums. Post Malone, I think, is awesome. I think you can zone out to it. You can get motivated to them, and you can kind of have all array of emotions in that, which is I think kind of cool in whatever state your mind is in.
Yeah,
So I'd have to go with one of his albums. I don't know them on top of my head though.
that's fair. I mean, to be fair, I've never listened to Post Malone, so
There you go.
I'm no good on that one either.
Yeah.
Um, and then similar sort of thing. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Phew. You probably get tired of everything, right? No matter how much I like it right now, you get tired of it after some time. So, um, like, is it one specific type or a group of fruit or a group of
Oh,
fooding
I might be kind of say group.
group? So, okay.
Well,
Um,
whatever's easy for you, to be honest.
yeah, I mean, I'd probably I want to say fruit.
Yeah.
I'm a big fruit guy. I think it's obviously healthy and then still tastes good if you get the right yeah ripeness and stuff,
Yeah.
and the right fruit. But yeah, something like that. Maybe in terms of a cheat meal, I like pulled pork. I love pulled
Oh,
pork. Yeah, it's
oh,
great. Barbecue
that is a
pulled
good
pork.
shout.
So that's like my post game meal. It's like the yeah, after games. Usually when you get to eat a little bit more and a little bit more unhealthy, that's my go-to usually. Yeah.
Nice. Can't argue with a bit of pulled pork. Um, and what is one thing fans don't know about you? I know
I
we've
was
covered quite a lot so far, but
I
if
know
there's one little extra nugget,
usually I say the golf
yeah,
that I'm a pretty good golfer, but uh, good question. Man, I absolutely hate peanut butter. I know that's for Americans, that's kind of like a massive deal.
yeah, but
Us Europeans, I don't really, maybe
uh,
not. I don't know.
I'm I'm not again. I'm not a big peanut butter fan. My wife is. She likes it,
Okay.
but I think over here it's not quite as. I don't want to say it's big because you see it quite often, but
Yeah.
maybe
It's big. Well, it's big in the US. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. You see it
So,
everywhere. I've I've only been a couple of times, but the both times I've been, you can't get away from it usually.
yeah.
Right. I'm going to move on to some what I've called quick fire questions.
Okay.
So you've got this or that, and I want you to choose fairly quickly.
Okay.
So first one, Ronaldo or Messi?
Messy.
Nice, nice. Beating the Red Bulls or winning MLS Cup?
The Moscow
Ooh,
against the Red Bulls
oh, oh. Oh well, okay. Well,
in
I'll
the
allow
Eastern
that.
Conference Final, and then yeah.
I'll allow that. Soccer or football?
Soccer.
Ooh,
I'm American
yeah,
that way,
yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Shutout or clean sheet?
Shut up.
Again, that's kind of an American term, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Dave Johnson or Devon McTavish?
I don't know. uh, Dave Johnson, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Right, that's it for the quick fire stuff.
Okay.
You haven't got any more on that side of things. So, questions about the team. I want to ask in the locker room who has the worst taste in music?
Um, I mean, we either listen to some Spanish music
Yeah.
usually,
Okay.
or some like just regular like pretty modern type stuff that's just in the charts at the moment. So I want to say Chris Seitz or Russ Knaus. I mean, they're sometimes on the sticks, and I'm just like, I don't know.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really know everybody's because not everybody
Yeah.
gets to play their music.
Well, I suppose you have not really had many games to have in the locker
Yeah,
room to get used to everyone's music yet.
it's true. Yeah.
But whilst you're in that locker room, who was the biggest joker? So who plays the most pranks? Who's got the biggest laughs? Who is it? Now, bear in mind, I had
Question.
Kevin Paredes on that last week, and he revealed a little bit.
He said himself? No.
He did, yeah,
Yeah, he said himself. Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting. No, I think we have a good group of guys that whenever you feel like you can joke around or you joke around with somebody, you can.
Yeah,
Usually do that, and they always are like everybody's kind of funny about it. I don't think there's like one big player that really sticks out. I
yeah,
think we can always like me and Fred and then Russ usually do something. Like when we were in Orlando, I would like hide Russ's shoe or something, and he would like get all upset, and we'd just kind of laugh at him. It'd be funny, but yeah, just something like that, and just small stuff that I usually get payback
yeah.
eventually. So
Fair,
no, it's all good.
nice. So, who has the worst dress sense?
Um, it's also a good question. I mean, obviously, I like the European look, so I can't, blame Fred for always wearing Tommy Hilfiger basically every day. But uh, I don't really know. I mean, some guys put some thought into it, some guys don't. I want to say Eric Sorga. Some of the outfits he wore in Orlando, they were like, ooh, man. But he's a good guy. He's a nice guy, and but he hasn't been here too long yet, so
Yeah,
maybe you gotta give him a little bit of a break there.
Uh, and he's young
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well, so
In
he's
10
just
years, he'll probably be like, man, what the hell did I used to wear?
definitely. I do the same. Next one is who has the worst dance move
Other than myself.
other than yourself. I mean, you're becoming
uh,
a dad, so you're going to get the dad dancers coming out soon.
yeah, yeah,
And I know Chris Seitz and Steve Birnbaum are already there,
yeah. I
but
think I would probably name those. Yeah. But I don't really know. I haven't really gone dancing much with the guys, so I don't know how to
I
answer
can't
that.
imagine that's
Maybe in a
something you
couple of
would
years you
normally
can.
do.
Yeah, a couple of years you can ask me that again.
Fair, fair. Who is the most serious in the locker room?
Probably Felipe. Actually,
Yeah,
he's quite a good
yeah,
guy. I mean, he's serious when it comes to like doing things the right way and going out to play.
yeah,
But most serious, yeah. I mean, Felipe. You got Pipa Higuain, who's pretty, who's always doing exercises and always working on his smaller injuries and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, nothing really like that really annoys me or anything. No.
Fair enough. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, I know you've only been there 8 months, and you've only had 5 games. But what's the most embarrassing thing to have happened in the locker room, if anything?
During that time, during games.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I don't know. I mean, at first, the first game, we didn't have a clock in our locker room, so we didn't really know. Like, I had to ask like the trainers like 10 times of when we're going out, what time it is, and stuff. Which then that we had one at halftime, so they kind of fixed that pretty quick. Maybe something like, yeah, just nothing like crazy, crazy. Actually, this is actually a really crazy story. But in preseason, we were
Yeah.
down in Florida, and we were training at like this public field, and and just like a park
Mm.
next to a baseball stadium, and there was a weight room in there, which was you know pretty old.
Yeah.
It was needed to be updated, let's say, and we had done a lift, and we would do like some like chest presses with like a band or something,
Yeah.
and we all thought that the thing was like drilled into the ground and stable and everything. And me and Steve, we push it and push it, and the thing just starts tipping over. It like almost hit both of us. And the trainer saw it, and he like grabbed it from the back and pulled it back down. Yeah, so that could have ended really bad in that
Ooh.
moment. But obviously, none of us knew that that thing wasn't cemented, or it was, and me and Steve are just some big boys, and we're able to really pull that machine down. But yeah, that could have ended pretty bad, and probably a good story
Imagine trying to explain that one to physios and things.
there.
Get
Yeah, I
injured
know.
by that.
I know. No, it was us. I mean, we just put the band there and then started doing it. It was nobody looked, and it was nobody's fault, like other
Yeah.
than maybe ours. But thankfully, the trainer was actually there to watch us. Which was quite good that he grabbed it. And
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Um, that was the last question.
already.
Yeah.
Wow,
How was that?
that was not easy, not hard. Like right in the middle.
No, I'll take that. I'll take that. I didn't want. Obviously, I don't want to make it too easy on you. You know.
Yeah, no, I understand that. No, it was good.
And as we spoke about just before we went live, you do the Gressel special, which is a fantastic name, considering obviously it rhymes with your name.
Thanks.
Um,
Yeah.
I know we've spoken about. Can we expect to see any more episodes?
Yeah, we'll get some more episodes going. Hopefully soon. We just kind of, I've been pretty busy with me coming back here to the house and
Yeah.
getting things sorted out, and it's also quite hard to actually find guests. I'm sure, as you know, as a podcaster yourself.
Yeah.
While other guys around the league obviously still playing, and they have their different things going on. So we might
Yeah.
actually do a golf episode soon
Ooh,
with a PGA Tour player, hopefully, that is in
nice.
the works. And then once we get back playing, I think we'll kind of get some more guys on, and then I definitely want to continue it
Yeah.
for sure. I think it's been a lot of fun for me to do, to actually be on the other side of these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also been a good way for me to kind of get to know the DC United fans, or them to get to know me and us as a team a bit more. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's just something that I look forward to continuing for sure. And like I said, hopefully we have some more games to talk about, and can go into more live sports, and other soccer around Europe and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll get the season back soon because once this tournament is over, it's gonna be odd again having nothing.
I
I
know.
don't want that. No one
Yeah, I
wants
know.
that.
I mean, we've been training at the moment. We're training at the moment without having a real date in mind again, which is tough mentally at times.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's just the times we're living in. Just got to get through it, and hopefully we
Yep.
get back to normal soon. But
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
be all right.
Now, fingers crossed. So, just a few things before we wrap the show up. I've got to give a little shout out to the show sponsors, which is the MLS UK show. Normally I'd be playing a little video, but I forgot to load it up. So just a quick shout out to Elliot and Henry, who are doing some absolutely fantastic stuff at the moment. They're back in the studio, doing their thing. So check it out. It's on YouTube. They're on Twitter at MLS UK show. Same with Facebook and Instagram. Hit them up, follow them up on there, and check out what they're doing. And other things, if you're not following on me on Twitter, I mean, like I said last time, how the heck did you find this show? Unless you're following DC United or Julian, because they've retweeted it. So thank you. Um, Hit me up on DC United Kingdom. Give me a follow. Head on to the website. There's a membership thing, so you can join in and become a part of the group. You can buy some merch. So if you're watching, you can buy one of these t-shirts. I mean, long sleeve ones. They're very, very comfy, and even with a blowing light, I'm quite comfortable. And that's about it. So, thank you, Julian, for taking the time out to come on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on and an absolute blast asking you those questions. And until next time, Vamos United.